Your shin pads are stretchy, durable. Definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch to goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. But they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. First thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. I feel secure and locked in.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope everyone is well. We are about to get straight into our Tuesday live call. We are going to cover off a few topics before we get started. One of the first things I want to mention as well, apologies guys, a little bit late jumping on again. I've been full of this flu and cold at the moment and I have to just run off and blow my nose. But I hope you're all well. I hope you're all well and you're not sick like me. I think I've just managed to get this flu bug over the weekend and it's taken me back a few days. But I'm here and super excited and pumped. We've had loads of amazing feedback in relation to the mental strength training that we've been doing over the past week or so. So the original plan was we were going to do a mini section of the mental strength training every Thursday, but we've decided now we're going to do at least 20 minutes in every live coaching call because of the feedback that we've had. So again, a big thank you for the positive feedback that we've had. I think as well, I think some of you have been struggling to come up with questions to get me to help you with as well. So what it will do is it'll buy us a little bit of extra time where we can build up some more questions. And then also we've got some exciting news as well, which I'm going to announce a little bit towards the end of the call about some guests who are going to be joining us on some of the live calls over the next couple of weeks. So lots of exciting news to come up over the next hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop straight in to the school platform. We'll have a quick look. We'll see where we're sitting within the rankings. And again, a big thank you to everyone who's been supporting and helping us within the rankings and helping us get up towards the top. So I'm just going to share my screen on here. And if you just bear with me 2 secs, we'll just get this up. There we go. And we are in. So we are pushing through on our platform. So we're currently in the sports. We are still sitting in 4th at the moment. Our next big goal is to get to number 3. But to get to number 3 on the overall, we need to get past that final little hurdle. And we need to get into position number 33. So to get to number 3 overall in sports, we need to get to 33 or above on the overall rankings across the 181,000 communities. We are nearly there. We are in 46th place at the moment and we're getting closer. We've put a bit of distance between us and the Bulletproof Cycling. So we're now exactly 10 places above them. And we are getting closer to these guys in 33rd place. So a big thank you, especially to all of our players on the community, but more so to some players I want to give a special mention out is Khaleesi, Xavier, Joshua, Jenelyn, Jake, Matthew, Shooty, Obrad, Christian and Mitchell Davis. You guys have been really putting it in over the past couple of weeks and helping us with likes, comments. One thing that we really need to improve on is asking a question with a video. So just record a short video, 10-15 seconds, and then post the video in the comments of the actual community call. And then that's going to give you 10 extra points on your activities. Their current leaderboard, their last 7 days, Jen, who's one of our team members, she's currently top. She's knocked Khaleesi off the top, so that's good to see. So it gives Khaleesi a bit of an extra challenge to push a bit harder. Khaleesi did finish up overall the number 1 across the last 30 days, so the sprint across January. So a big round of applause to Khaleesi. Woohoo! Khaleesi has won a Premier League jersey. It's a surprise jersey. Khaleesi doesn't know what one it is, so she's had to provide me with a size, and the surprise jersey will be arriving at Khaleesi's place hopefully in the next 10 to 14 days once we get them in stock this Friday. We are super pumped that we've partnered with a Premier League partnership where we're going to be getting what we call surprise jerseys from the Premier League from different years, different eras, and we don't even know ourselves what they are. And we give the size and the address and the name, and then they post out a surprise Premier League jersey. As an example, it could be the 2005 Liverpool jersey from when they won the Premier League, when they won the Champions League that year. It could be the 2010 Chelsea home jersey. We just don't know. It'll have some relevance to the Premier League and being a successful team in that particular season. So well done to Khaleesi. So as you can see, Josh, Xavier, Jake Watson, Khaleesi in the last 7 days is still clear light and day ahead of you all. So you guys need to up your game a little bit if you want to be considered to win that Premier League jersey. If we keep going the way we're going, Khaleesi's going to finish up with 12 Premier League jerseys this year. So I'm challenging all of the players in the group, start putting in a bit more, start liking the activities more, and start posting and commenting a little bit more. And it's that simple. I'll show you how simple it is. Going on, clicking on a post, and if you haven't already done so, just hit the little like buttons and get yourself some activity points. And if you can, put in a little short comment, well done, and post, okay? And you'll be amazed at how quick your activities and points will come up. Now, I'm going to have a very quick look into the community just to make sure there's no urgent tasks on there. Also, guys, we did send an update out to everyone who's planned to come on the planned trip in April this year for the trials and the tours. We're asking everyone if you direct all communication for that to info@proplayerpathway.com, and that's a request from me and the team, but also from feedback that we've had in the past that we get a lot of communication about trials, tours, trips to the UK. So we're trying to really just streamline that. This is the all-in-one place for Pro Player, and everything in relation to the April tour for this year will all go via info@proplayerpathway.com, and there will be an update coming out tomorrow on an email on that. And we've had a lot of emails coming in, and we'll respond to those emails tomorrow. Okay, so big thank you for your patience on that one. Okay, now we're going to get into it. We're going to go into our football mental strength training program. So if we go to classroom, section 7, football mental strength training. And you will notice that I've split it up, as mentioned on the previous call, into 7 sections: mental toughness, self-talk, control the controllables, imagery, building confidence, dealing with disappointments, and the final one will be dealing with parents. Now, we've just completed mental toughness, and you will notice now that part 1 is a 28-minute video, and part 2 is a 32-minute video. So, if you don't want to click through each of these sections and do it all on your own, you can just watch part 1 and part 2, and it will walk you through all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 screens without you having to go through it on your own. But if you're confident that you want to go through it on your own, then just go through one slide at a time, read what it tells you to do, and follow the instructions. But at any point, if you get stuck, these 11 slides have all been put into these 2 videos, part 1 and part 2. And it's a lot more interactive. You guys asked us for this, and we're delivering. Every time you ask us, we will deliver, because we want you to have the best possibility of completing. Now, today's talk, ironically, we're going to be moving on to self-talk. So, everyone get your pens and paper at the ready. Also, I want you to make sure you're commenting on YouTube, and if you're not subscribed, you need to subscribe, because I'm going to get people to help us with the answers. So, a little bit about self-talk. When we're having a little look at self-talk, what is self-talk? Okay, it's developed and worked on over a long period of time. Like with anything that we do in the game of football or soccer, on or off the pitch, it must be practiced regularly. So it's got to be consistent. It's got to form like a habit. Plan for it to become automatic. Remember, Rome's not built in a day. So task list, what we're going to look at over the next 20 minutes. Understanding self-talk. Benefits of positive self-talk. Negatives of self-talk. An interactive discussion. Workshop, role play, and homework. And then we're going to finish off with a small conclusion. So let's have a little look at understanding self-talk. So task 1. Write down what you believe is self-talk and discuss with one other person to see what they believe it is. Write the answer down as well. If you're working on this project on your own, you can Google a question and write down the best answers you like. Now, there's 2 types of people. You'll either be watching this on a recording. If you're watching it on a recording, hit pause, go and get a friend, go and get a family member, call a friend up who plays in a team with you, in your soccer team or your football team or your club. If you're watching it on the live call, you can drop in the answers for me. So I want you to write down what you believe is self-talk and discuss with another person. Now, again, pause it if you're watching this on a recording. If you're watching it on the live call, I'm going to ask all of my players, can you drop in what you believe self-talk is and give us an example. And if you've got more than one, give me more than one example, okay? I'm going to give you, as my guys on the live call, you've got about 60 seconds. If you're watching this as a recording, guys, you could take 15 to 20 minutes to complete this. Again, just pause it and then come back to it. And then you can then fill in your answers and we can review all of your answers. So if you need more time and you're watching this on the recording, you can just pause again. But if you're on the live call with us at the moment, we are getting some answers in, which is great to see. So some of the answers that we've got is positive information that you tell yourself internally. So it might be, you've had a shot on goal, it doesn't go in, but you got it on target and you went low and hard into the corner, but the goalkeeper made a great save. So you might tell yourself, that was unlucky, it was a great shot, I got myself in a great position, I put the ball where the coach wants me to, and unfortunately the keeper just made a great save. It could be the opposite. It could be beating yourself up. So not recognising, we've spoke about this on the previous calls, processes versus outcomes, not recognising that in the processes you've made loads of good sort of activities on the run-up, but you're too focused on the outcome. So it could be that you're beating yourself up and you're calling yourself names, or you're calling yourself rubbish or not that good. Focusing on thoughts or outcomes, correct, or it could be processes as well. So you'll focus on thoughts, processes, outcomes, and this is what goes on in our heads. So some great answers there. Now, if you're watching this on the recording, what I want you to do as ever, jump into the community, understanding self-talk, give it a title, and drop in your answers, share them to me. I want to watch back and read back some community posts in 10 years' time when players are watching this for the first time and they're starting to put in what some of the answers are that they got on that particular day. So if you're watching this on the recording, jump into the community, put your name, so it could be John Smith, Understanding Self-Talk, Task 1, and put some of the answers that you and your friends or your teammates or family members have got. Okay, Task 2. Write down 3 examples of positive talk and also 3 for negative talk. Then again, discuss this with a teammate, a partner, a family member, whoever it may be. Again, if you're working on this project on your own, you can Google a question and you can look for the 3 answers that you like the most, but I would prefer if you try and come up with the answers yourselves rather than Google and stuff. That is a last resort if you need to. Again, if you're watching this on the recording, pause it. You've got about 10 to 15 minutes to come up with some examples. If you're watching it on the live call, can I get my players to drop in an answer or 2 for me into the comments? And I would love to go over some of them. Now, whilst I'm waiting for some of the answers to drop in, we'll have a little bit of a story time about Harry Kane. Now, I've been very fortunate to meet Harry on a couple of occasions, and I was very lucky to do 4 study visits to Germany last year, which was 2025. Whilst I was doing a course with UEFA, we did get to visit Bayern Munich, and it was quite interesting to be told a little bit about Harry Kane's superstition. And everything he says that he puts on first is always on his left. So the left sock first, the left boot first, the left shin pad. It's something that he's always done and stuck to. It just gets him in the right frame of mind. We covered this off in the last section on mental toughness and having some pre-game little sort of superstitions you can stick to, because it just puts you in a positive mindset that you feel like before you've gone on the pitch, you've followed 4, 5, 6, 7 processes and you've got your outcome, and the outcome is you feel in your head you're prepared properly. That's the whole reason why we do it. Now, I'm going to have a little look at some of the answers. We're going to go back to that task 2. So I'm going to have a look at some of our answers from our live callers. So examples of positive or negative talk. Okay, so positive talk example we could have is encouraging yourself to do more good plays, encouraging yourself to stay positive and reassuring yourself that you're doing a good job. It could be that when you have a shot on goal, even if it doesn't go in, actually recognise the processes you've followed and you've done correctly to be in the position to even get a shot at the goal or at the goalkeeper. Things that you could think about with the negative self-talk. If you hit a pass and it doesn't go to a teammate and you maybe call yourself out inside your head, maybe a teammate does something wrong and you're giving negative talk internally to yourself about your teammate. And probably one of the worst ones I do see is when teammates make a mistake another teammate having a go at them rather than giving them positive. So there's some of the answers that we've got from our live callers. So big thank you for those guys who jumped in. Now, task 3. Going back to superstitions and Harry Kane. Can you find your best athlete superstitious sports story by researching on the internet and choose this to be your future pre-game preparation? Remember, as you follow your routine, to talk yourself through positive talk and use this superstition as a trigger to start your positive self-talk. Now, what I will do for this one, I will jump onto ChatGPT and I'm going to share with you, because I know what this one is, but one of my favourite sports stars of all time was a tennis player called Rafa Nadal. What was his pre-game ritual or superstitions? And I'll give you an example. So before the match, cold showers. Nadal often took cold showers, same warm-up sequence. Equipment set up, bottles, towels, rackets. If you watch any games back of Rafa Nadal, you will see him before his game, during his game, and as he comes off after his game. He would open his bottle a certain way, the lid would get twisted back on with an X amount of spins. It would be placed back in the same spot, and the label of the drinks bottle would have to face a certain direction on the tennis court. Entering the court, it was always his right foot first. He never steps on the lines on or around the edge of the tennis court until the game started. Bags are always placed in the same spot. And the famous water bottle ritual, which we just spoke about, labels facing the court, perfectly aligned and the same distance apart. Now, even things like adjusting a short, a shirt, but one of the big things people used to say, he's strange, he's weird, he's definitely got some sort of dodgy religion that he's following, and it was nothing like that. His coaches were very, very smart, that the best way to get rid of any pre-nervous jitters before games, and we've got to remember, someone like Rafa Nadal was involved in some of the biggest tennis games on the planet, against the likes of Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, the GOAT, and he couldn't afford to be nervous. Now, if you look at that pre-game ritual, you might go, that's a bit much. And admittedly it is. You might want to start with 2 to 3 things, okay? But those 2 to 3 things are going to really enable you to focus on processes and not outcomes. And while you're focusing on processes, you're then able to then focus on that longer term outcome, which becomes irrelevant once you start focusing more on processes. So your task 3, if you're watching this on the recording, okay, I want you to go away as a piece of homework, and you are going to post this back to me in the community, and I want you to tell me, it doesn't matter what sport, the athlete that you found and the superstitious elements to their game and why they do it, okay? Now you might want to Google or ChatGPT the top 10 athletes with the most pre-game rituals, and then you choose which player you want to pick, and based on the sport. It doesn't have to be football or soccer. If you're watching this on the live call, if you want to join in this task 3, what I would do is have a comment below who the athlete is and give me one of the things what the athlete does. Or if you want to get involved as well, you can actually submit this into the community and put it under the section Understanding Self-Talk, task 3, and then give us a little brief description of who the athlete is and why. Okay? So what we've covered is, what is self-talk? Positive examples, negative. What can you gain from positive talk? What can negative talk give you? And the right sock story from Harry Kane. Okay, benefits of self-talk. Now I'm going to play this short video. It's going to run for about 1 minute 40, so I'll let you enjoy it and sit back and relax.
Our thoughts, they have a huge impact on how we feel. If you can learn how to think before a game, you can influence your performance on the pitch. Self-talk is a technique that positively manages your inner voice. It only takes a few minutes and helps you prepare for the 90 ahead. Let any negative thoughts go and replace them with the positive I can or I will statements, like I can stop anything or I will dominate my area. It helps if you recall a great performance from the past. My pre-game routine takes me back to the Camp Nou. Barcelona versus Manchester City, March 17th, 2015. The world's most feared attack threw everything they had at me that night.
Neymar's in, Joe Hart is flying out to great effect.
I stood up to it. Now, I mentally replay every save I made.
Beaten away by Hart.
I draw on the positive feelings they gave me at the time.
Needed again. He's there again.
My routine fills me with the belief that I will play at my best. It makes me realize the only person who can beat me is me.
Love that video. That is a super video. So in relation to the task for this next part, so you'll see task 1, working with a parent or a partner, come up with 3 goals for each match you're playing. Again, if working on your own, you can Google 3 favourite goals for matches, write your results into your diary or notes. So again, under section, I think it's section 6, we go to your football blueprint. You can update all of this. So again, working with a teammate, a parent, a friend, come up with your 3 goals for each match. Task 2, working with a parent or partner again, come up with 3 positive self-talk words, sentences for each pre-match prep before you're playing. Again, if you're working on your own, you can Google and you can help you look for some of them. And again, write your results in your football blueprint, okay? So not necessarily in your diary or your notes. Now, at any point, if you're watching this on the recording, you can pause it, you can read through this screen, and you can take your time on this. This is not something that we expect you to do in 10-15 minutes. I would say each task 1 and 2, you should apply around about 15 to 20 minutes of work, okay? If you're watching this on the live screen currently, this will be something that you will go back through a little bit later on and you'll need to work through on this section. Now, task 3, again, working with a team member, a parent, 3 visualization images for each pre-match prep before you're playing. Again, if you're working on your own, you can Google. Think about previous chapters with processes over outcomes. Think about making successful passes, successful recovery runs, write your results into your notes. Now, again, if you're watching this on the recording, pause it, leave it on the screen and go away and spend 15 to 20 minutes on each task. Now, you might just complete task 1 today, put it into your football blueprint, into your notes, and then come back to task 2 tomorrow or another day. I would rather this becomes quality over quantity. And what I mean by that is, I don't want to see players rushing through this. Now, task 3, I'm going to give you an example when I worked in the Premier League. We worked with players where we were focusing on successful passes. And we monitored them after the warm-up in 3-minute sections. And they worked with a partner and they were just doing passes, 1 touch and 2 touch. And we gave them obstacles to get around and different angles to pass on. We then sat them down and we got them to visualize for the next 10 minutes with their eyes closed, visualizing themselves making a completed pass time and time over again from short distances. medium distances, long distances, balls on the floor, balls in the air. What we discovered was mind-blowing. Using these visualization tricks, players improved their pass completion on the pitch by at least 20% or more. So anyone who underestimates visualization in Task 3, underestimate it at your own peril. The academy players in the UK and Europe are doing these techniques daily, and even the first team men's and women's players in the senior squads are using visualization. Now, when would you use visualization? You would use visualization before training, before the big game, when you're on the bus with your teammates going to the game, maybe you're in the car with mum and dad. Okay? Focus on your visualization. Again, if you're not sure what to be visual about, think about successful passes, successful recovery runs, successful shots on goal. If you're a goalkeeper, successful goal kicks, successful throwing the ball out with your arms, successful saves from inside the box, successful saves from outside the box. Okay? Think about all of those different options, and again, write your 3 that you choose, okay, into your football blueprint. Now, task 4. Set yourself a 5 to 7 minute pre-game prep where you sit down in a quiet place with your headphones on, okay, no sounds or music, just to block the sound. That's why you have your headphones on, and go through your 3 goals, your 3 positive affirmations, and your 3 visualizations. And again, this task 4, if you're watching this on the recording, pause it. This should take you 15 to 20 minutes. And again, put it into your football blueprint. But also, I'm asking everyone, can you share your task 1, task 2, task 3 and task 4 on the community inside our school community for everyone to see? And for some of the best ones that I see in there, you know me, I will give away some vouchers and prizes for our GOATS Elite website. Again, consistency is key with all of this. If you're not consistent, you're not going to form habits. And if you don't form habits and good habits, you won't become a good player, okay? So, enhance performance, improve your focus, motivation and resilience. It's going to help you with confidence. It's going to reduce your stress, because if you're more focused on following task 4, your 3 goals, your 3 positive affirmations and your 3 visualizations, you haven't got time to be stressed about the game or the results, because your brain is too busy focusing on processes over outcomes, okay? Finally, visualization and goal setting, using positive self-talk to visualize success and to set, and this is the key word, achievable goals. I don't want any of my players to set goals that are not achievable, but also I don't want them to be easy either. There's got to be a balance in the middle. Okay, so that was benefits of self-talk. We are going to go into the negatives of self-talk. And before we do that, we have got a video that we want to showcase to you. So I'm going to play this and I'll let you enjoy.
Imagine if every day you pointed out to one of your teammates everything that they did wrong. You kept on telling them how they're messing up and how stupid they are for messing up. Over time, what do you think will happen to their mindset? Unless they have a tremendous amount of self-confidence and self-worth, naturally their mindset is going to take a downward turn. They're probably going to experience some lower levels of self-confidence. In the same way, as you continue to criticize yourself, your mindset is going to get worse. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. In this second video in the series on self-talk, you're going to learn how negative self-talk hurts your game. If you haven't watched a previous video, I've linked it right here that goes into detail on what self-talk is in sports. Now, if you're being self-critical, this is a form of negative self-talk. It's a form of direct negative self-talk, which is the one that's going to have the most immediate impact on your game. But the negative impact that it's going to have, which I'm going to discuss here in a second, is also going to happen if you're having indirect self-talk, because if you're having indirect self-talk, you're still going to experience low confidence. You're still going to experience increased anxiety, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So let's take a look at the specific negative consequences that you can expect from experiencing negative self-talk. The first one is going to be low confidence. The more you criticize yourself and the more negative self-talk you have, the less confident you're going to be that you can play well. This is also the case if you're having indirect self-talk, where you're thinking about how good that other team is. If you're thinking about how good the other team is, it's going to lower your confidence. Just as if you're thinking about, how you never play well at this field, that's going to make you feel less confident to play at that field. Another negative consequence is increased anxiety. When you're self-critical, it's not going to feel good. And as you associate negative emotions with making a mistake, you're going to grow anxious to perform. Also, the actual act of having negative self-talk is going to increase anxiety. For example, you might think things like, I don't know if I can play well today. I'm not feeling it today. I never play well at this field. I never play well against this team. I hope I don't make a mistake and coach benches me. Those kinds of negative thoughts are going to increase your anxiety. Another consequence is the fear of failure. Now, just like with anxiety, this is caused by being afraid of how you will feel and what will happen if you make a mistake. So you play timidly due to this fear. It's also going to be increased, like anxiety is, by the negative thoughts that you have. For example, if you're thinking, I suck, I don't know if I can do this, I'm not feeling it today, those are going to lead to increased fear going into the game and going into an at-bat or before you take a shot, for example. Another consequence is a loss of joy. Now, enjoying your sport is honestly going to be an overlooked aspect of your game, especially as you get older. But having fun is a key motivating factor to training and increasing your level of play. But when you're too critical and you experience negative self-talk, you can easily lose the love for your sport. Another consequence is lack of improvement. Even though you're being critical to try and improve, and a lot of times you beat yourself up because of a mistake you made, the emotional and psychological toll of constantly criticizing yourself and beating yourself up is actually going to keep you from improving as much as you could. Now, this is something that's seen a lot in perfectionist athletes, where they have negative self-talk and critical self-talk over mistakes that they made. Now, this is done because they think that's going to help them improve, but if you've ever experienced this, you know that it only makes you feel worse about yourself and lowers your confidence, and it actually keeps you from making as much improvement as you could. Another consequence is poor focus. Instead of being focused on what you need to be focused on during practices and also during games, your focus is going to be centered on whether or not you made a mistake. And it's also going to be focused on the negative self-talk you're having, because focus is directly tied to your thoughts. So if you're having negative thoughts, so if you're experiencing negative self-talk, your focus is consumed with that negative self-talk, when in reality, your focus needs to be centered on what you're doing in the present moment and also thoughts that are going to increase your confidence. So given the negative impact of being a self-critical athlete and experiencing this negative self-talk, it's important for you to work on not being so self-critical by increasing your positive and productive self-talk. Now, before you do so, it's also great to get a good understanding of the different ways that you can use self-talk as an athlete and how this can positively impact your game. So go ahead and click right here to watch video 3 in this series that goes into detail on the different ways that positive self-talk is going to increase your performance.
Big thank you, and I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. It was a great video, amazing video. So some of the negatives of negative self-talk, okay, I mean, I can have a little look at this. When we're in control, in possession, movement, you're always in control of your movements. No one should control your movements. So things like into space behind the ball. Communication is another one. You are in complete control of it yourself. Also, your teammates are in control of their communication. What's not in your control? Opposition players, teammates, their communication, the referee, and the linesman. So there's some of the things that we really, really want you to think about on those negatives of negative self-talk. And you'll notice that we don't give you tasks on this because we don't want you to really be programming this into your brain, but we want the benefits of self-talk. So a little bit of a summary just to finish off, and hopefully you enjoyed this section of self-talk. So as ever, this is a growing part to the page. The next session, we're going to be looking at controlling the controllables. So a big thank you to everyone who's joined us on the live call. If you're watching it on the recording, as ever, you can just literally go back through and click on any of the mini sections that you wish to, or if you want to, you can watch this recording again just by clicking on part 1 self-talk, and it will play for you, and the video will again be roughly around about 30 to 40 minutes. A big thank you for joining me on this next section, and again, if you're watching this on a recording, there's a very good chance the next section, controlling the controllables, is already being completed. All you need to do is hop out of this page and go into control the controllables. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed it. A big thank you to everyone who's currently on the live call. We are going to hop very quickly back across to my live screen. Hopefully you guys can see me. There we are. So that was our self-talk section. Amazing section, and I'm so happy that you're all enjoying this, and it's a great thing to be going through, and it's giving you some things to sort of build out into your program and some of the areas that you need to look at. So again, with any of this, drop it in the community, put in your examples, put in some of the goals, the visualization techniques that you're going to set yourself, and remember, the football blueprint is your best friend. This is the best place to store it all. And what you're going to look at is when you get to the end of, let's say, 2026, for all of the players on this program, you're all going to go, wow, now I understand what Ray means about how much information is in here. And the pro player pathway is not just like necessarily following step 1 to 10 and you're going to make it. There is a step 1 to 10, but within each step, there's probably 100 levels in there. And I can't give you it all in one go. You've got to learn it in slow, bite-sized pieces of learning. And for all of our top players, and when I say top players, they're the ones who are the most active on our community, okay? You guys, boys and girls, are going to get the most out of it. And what that means is you guys will go on and play pro football if that's what you want to do, because you are following it to the letter. Now, before we go to a break, because that was quite long, we are going to go to a very quick toilet/drink snack break. We've still got about 15 to 20 minutes to go. Drop in any questions in the comments in YouTube. If you're not subscribed to us as a follower, you need to subscribe below in YouTube, and then you'll be able to put some questions into the comments. But just remember, the questions are always given priority to our members on our school community. And if you want to know how to join, I'm going to drop it in the comments in a little bit for you. And I've also put it up top. My email address is raymond@proplayerpathway.com. Drop me an email and I'll send you a link so you can join us on this community. We'll be back with you in just a little over 60 seconds, guys.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost Grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. They stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. You don't slip, you don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match.
Hello everyone, welcome back. So again, a big thank you for joining us on Tuesday night here in Brisbane in Australia. If you are in the USA or the UK or Europe, it's going to be very early hours of the morning there. If you're watching this back on the recording, remember there's many recordings. We've already got, I think, 16 or 15 recordings in for 2026 already. So there is a library of videos, and every video, I think all of our players will admit as well, you'll always learn at least one thing minimum. But I think if you watch every video, I think you'll get more than one thing out of it. Now, I am just going to give a little bit of a mention and a shout out to Mr. Obrad Romich. He put in one of the answers, Michael Jordan wore his University of North Carolina shirt underneath his Chicago Bulls uniform for every game. This is true. I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. If anyone knows me, I've got about 25 pairs of Air Jordans. I'm obsessed with them. But it shows you there's a reason why all of these #1 athletes around the world, whether they play basketball, tennis, football, soccer, AFL, it doesn't matter, whatever they play, they all have pre-game rituals. Now, some of the players actually just think it is a pre-game ritual and think it's just a superstitious thing. But the really clever athletes actually understand that the coaches have got them to do this, because if they start to focus before, an hour before, 2 hours before the game, and focus processes over outcomes, they're laying foundations and good habits off the pitch before they get on the pitch. And then what do we want our players to follow on the pitch? Processes and not outcomes. And it's the same methodology. That's why some of the best coaches teach this to players and athletes. And I believe those really intelligent athletes will work it out for themselves, that this is actually distracting me from worrying about fears, concerns, what if I get injured, or we're playing against top of the league today. That's the reason why it's done. So if you understand this from a coaching perspective and as a playing perspective, when you are a player, as all of you are now, you'll see the benefits of it. So I hope you go away and you put in some pre-game rituals into your football blueprint and start sharing them to me. And if anyone puts some really, really clever ones in there I've never heard of before or seen, you know me, we'll give you some prizes and some gift vouchers to give away. Now, I do have a match analysis to get to, bang on 7:30, with one of our Pro Player Pathway players, so I'm super pumped to deliver that match analysis. Also, what we are going to start to do, with the permission of players and families, if they're happy for us to do so, we are actually going to start sharing match analysis in the community group. So if you want to actually watch to see what one's like, and maybe you've never had one before, but you're thinking, I wouldn't mind getting a match analysis done, it'll give you an idea of what you can expect and the level of quality. So we're super pumped to be doing that match analysis. I think I've got 4 to deliver this week. Now, I'm going to have a little look. Hopefully we've got some questions dropped in. I will have a quick look into school because I did drop a post in a little bit earlier on today. So I'm just going to have a little screen control here and we'll just drop in and we'll just see if I can find the post. Oh, I like this one. Let me have a little look at this. Joshua Vella, following on from the live call, one of my one coach name is Pej Bonch, and he represented Australia, played for Northampton Town in the EFL, Sydney FC, and said his superstition was that he would not tie his shoelaces until after the warm-up on the field. I love that one, Joshua. And he played for Northampton Town as well. I work for Northampton. I'd be interested to have a look at what years he played there. That's a great one. Right, let me see if I can find my post. Today's call, here we go. What is the best training practice that I can do in my backyard that can help me improve my delay, deny, and restrict? Oh, that is a great question. And the next one is training hours. Is your age plus 1 hour? If you suffer a serious injury, how does training hours work once you've covered it? Oh, I like that one as well. They're 2 great questions. And I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to answer Joshua Vella's one really quickly because this is a quick answered one, this one. So, when you come back from an injury, so when you return from injury, and I'll make sure we know this one's for Joshy, so I'll put it in here for him. There we go. You need to ask the physio or doctor at what level to return. Now, what I mean by what level, most physios or GPs will say you are allowed to return to 40% capacity, 80% capacity. If your doctor or physio doesn't tell you this, then either they're not a very good physio or doctor, or you need to ask them the question before you leave the room, or get mum and dad to call them, and just to explain that you're currently on a really high level elite program, which is developing you into a superstar, and based off the hours that you normally do, you want to know what percentage you can return at. Now, normally they will say, I'll give you an example. So this is an example. So they might say return to 40% for week 1, then week 2 might be 75%, then you do that, and then week 4 100%. So that's just an example, don't hold me to this, but if you go to 40%, what that means is, Josh, if your hours are, let's say you're 14 and you're doing 15 a week, you would look to do 40% of those 15 hours. And then if you manage to make it without any hiccups or reoccurrence of the injury, then week 2, you can go to 75%, and then by week 4, you go to 100. Now, what that means is week 2 and week 3 will both be set to 75%. So this is all about you or your mum or your dad communicating with your physio or with your GP. Now, most of you might be lucky and you might get an opportunity to visit your physio every week. So the physio might just say, look, for the next 7 days until I see you again, you can go 50% of your load. And what that means is 50% of your hours, and then you refer back to that physio or GP the following week. If you're not that lucky to have a physio or a GP, then it's a different way of attacking it. But that is a great question, Joshie. I absolutely love that one. Hopefully that answers that one for you. Now, Khaleesi, your question, I'm going to be really honest with you. I've got about 70% of it in my head, but as ever, if I'm going to answer this, I want to make sure I answer it with 5-star, 100% gold reviews from all of yous. I'm actually going to go away, and I'm actually going to admit for the first time, I'm not 100% confident the answer I'm going to give is completely right. So I'm actually going to go away to my team, and I'm going to speak to my contacts back in Europe. And ironically, I was just speaking to a very good friend of mine back in London who works at one of the Premier League teams. I'm actually going to catch up with him on what we call an e-coffee tomorrow, and I'm going to ask him what his answer is to this question. I'll see if he'll let me record it. If he won't, I'll get the answer from him and I'll integrate it with my answer. But it is a great question and I love it, because you're now starting to think about, Khaleesi, how you can take your training up another 2 or 3 levels, and how you can integrate into small type places like your backyard. What I will get you to do is, Khaleesi, can you DM me that question so I don't forget, and I'll make a note in my diary to add it into my e-coffee meeting tomorrow. And then what I want you to do is, as well, when you drop in the question, can you give me an idea of how much space you've got in your backyard as well, Khaleesi? Because that will determine how we answer it as well, because some people might only have 10 by 10 metres. Some people might have a full half of a soccer pitch in the backyard. It all really depends. but I will go away and I will get that answered for you. So big thank you. Phenomenal questions from both of you again. I'm going to just flick back in here just to make sure I've not missed any questions on the YouTube. Love the mental strength messages. Yeah, some great answers in there tonight. I love it as well. I actually really enjoy. I never ever thought, I am a big fan in coaching face-to-face, and I'm also a big fan in delivering courses face-to-face, but I've always said I'm not keen on doing it online, but I'm actually starting to really enjoy, because I'm starting to realise that face-to-face I could maybe coach 20-30 people on football mental strength, but I think on an online platform we've got the potential where we could coach 10,000 people in one go globally around the world. So I'm super pumped that he's enjoying it. Would you go through the same process when injured? So I think we've just answered that one. And what is the best training practice that I can do in the backyard? So yeah, we've just got that one. So Khaleesi, DM me. I love that question. Tell me how big your yard space is as well, so we make sure it's relevant. And what we will do is on Thursday's live coaching call, once we've got the next section of the mental strength training course out the way, I will give you that answer and we'll deliver it with my Remarkable with the whiteboard as well, and we'll make sure it's on point for you. So, as ever guys, I'm going to have to let you go because I've run over and I've got a call to get on to. Stay safe, and I look forward to speaking to you all Thursday. And just a reminder, tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m, there's going to be an email update in relation to the tours and trials for April as well. A big thank you for joining us, guys, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats Grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Goats Grip, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.